Not really a pilot watch review, but I want to show this one because I like it. The Citizen Navihawk, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is pretty excellent. The Nighthawk is also pretty cool. This one featuring a rubber strap. We've ran this watch in multiple testing events. Zodiacing, for instance. You know who loves this watch? Tactical Doodle. Yeah, he's a pilot too, and he loves the Navihawk. The negative display is hard to read. Hands are very legible, though. A lot of stuff going on here. A lot of stuff. Aviation computer stuff you'll never use ever. It's mostly for looks. Watch for my review, Navihawk. Thumbs up this video if you want to see that review. Post sooner rather than later. And then coming into frame is a Pratt & Whitney Twin Wasp R2800 powered P47D Thunderbolt. That's a mouthful. I don't know if I can replicate that engine noise taxiing, but I will try. Spin this. Not too bad. Love the P47. One of my all-time favorite World War II fighters. This is a very high quality, very well executed P47D, I believe, by Corgi. I think the name is here somewhere. There it is, Corgi. Based in England. They make it in China, no doubt, so it's not, I don't know, like $200. Love this camouflage pattern. 850 cal Brownings. With a Hamilton standard prop, they could climb and pretty much dominate a lot of the German fighters of the day. Maybe not the Dora 9 or the TA-152, but a regular Focke-Wulf in the hands of a good pilot, I'm talking about in the Jug. This plane was formidable. It just lacked the overall range of a P-51D to escort the bombers all the way to Germany, fight, and then come back. That was its downside. Later in the war, the P-47s were pretty much relegated to ground attack. Strafing runs, shooting up trains, airfields, and I'll tell you what, man, the Germans learned to fear the P-47 crews because they laid waste from probably late 44 all the way to the end of the war in 45. That's going to be guarding the tabletop. And then let's put a knife on the table, dudes. Where did it go? Oh, here we go. Opinel, number 8. Talking about classic watches, we're going to put a classic knife on there. Don't have an Opinel? Come on, dudes. Get with it. They're cheap. Use my link below. Opinels are awesome. Super lightweight. Great food knife. I mean, holy cow. Look at how thin that blade is. Flat ground. They do make stainless versions. Most of them are not stainless. You got to keep them oiled up. This is a number 8 again. I think this is an olive wood version. I know Campfire Talk. He and I have texted back and forth, and he loves his Opinels, man. Yeah, I do too. They're super cool. All right, so we have kind of a mixture of stuff. A little bit of modern right here. And we're going to talk about Shinola. What? Nothing fancy. I can't believe you're finally getting around to reviewing a Shinola watch. I am, and I know you guys have wanted me to review Shinola. Some have. If this video does well for views, let's say 50,000 views, once it hits the main channel after a couple weeks, I'll do more Shinola videos. If not, I won't. That's how that works. A view is a vote. I suspect it will not, because on the main channel, not Patreon, on the main channel, the WRVs are wah, wah. Nobody likes them. Not a lot of watch enthusiasts in TMP, which is quite remarkable actually, because it to me is primary EDC gear. Primary. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of pleasure I get from strapping on a new watch every day. It is, or if I really like a watch, 2 days rotation, it is so fun. Fun. If you haven't done it, you are missing out. I suspect you are since you're watching this one. My watch still is a Torgoin T16 night capable watch, and dudes, you got to see the lume on this thing. It is insanity. Here comes the S20. I'm just going to charge it just for a second. I wouldn't even have to charge it. I've never seen lume like this. Now, granted, this is a more expensive watch. This is about the same price, or a little bit less than the Shinola. Swiss made. I believe it's made in Switzerland. It definitely has a Swiss quartz movement. It's a chrono. Look at the lume, dudes. Yeah, I'll get to the other ones. Relax. We're getting there. Oh! Holy crap. That's like a flashlight. You could do search and rescue with illumination this thing puts out. Torgoin T16, link below. Love it, love it. I love the hands too. Look at these big, fat sword hands. Those are probably my overall favorite hands in the world. There, I said it. Nice strap on this too. Mini review. Embedded review. Here comes the Shinola. This is a 47mm Runwell whip sound. Really like the looks of this. It kind of mimics a World War II pilot watch when they made them out of pocket watches. Doesn't it kind of have a pocket watch aesthetic to it? I think it does. Now, they used pocket watches in, World War II because they were reliable and they were easily readable by the pilots wearing goggles, high altitude, low light situations. They wanted something big, and sometimes that meant they were strapping a 55mm pocket watch with brazed on lugs to their leather flight jacket. This to me is not that big, but it's not small either. This one is 47 by 11 by 51. 47 here to here, 11 thickness, which is pretty thin, lug to lug, which turned down a lot, I think, about 51mm. Made in Detroit. From actually foreign parts. So you can go on Shinola's website and they explain that. So it's not 100% American made. They're using foreign parts. There it is right there. Foreign parts are in there, so that's okay. Okay with that. But they employ some American workers. And by the way, you're going to pay for it too, because this thing retails, I think, for about $550. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, it is. And I think this one is model number 5012, might be an S, can't read my writing, 0044137. Holy cow, that's a long number. Links below again, if I can find them. Always buy on Amazon when you can. That supports me directly, but if not, that's cool too. And if this watch is too big for you, this Shinola, they make it in a 41mm with a lot of cool colorations. I'll scroll some across the screen as we go. Yeah, I went to Shinola's website, which, by the way, is really well done. Very clean, easy to navigate, great photos on Shinola's website. But in the 41mm case, they have some really great colorations, like 100144, it's 41mm. Love that one. The 20018-280, 41mm, love that one. That's silver with a navy strap. Very excellent. The number 2007057, and my favorite color often in watches, orange. That's a 41mm. I did not see that coloration in 47mm in the Runwell. That's, by the way, what they call this watch model, the Runwell. Get it? Runwell? It runs well? Yeah, like a P47 thug. I meant jug. Now, we're going to face off in this video because I can combine two watch reviews in one video, which is advised with the way the views are going once again. And it's funner too. It's actually going to go up against a Chinese watch. That's right. The American-made, mostly American-made, Shinola Argonite Runwell 47mm will face off against the Seagull M22S made in China. Here it is. Ooh, that's a cool looking watch too. That is a cool looking watch. Let me tell you this, guys, it presents very well in person. It presents very high quality in person. The Seagull M22S. No, I wasn't familiar with the brand either. And I think it may be the same company that makes the Seagull automatic watch movements, which I have proven in my own use as to be pretty outstanding. Here's a Parnis pilot watch. This is a Chinese production, and it has a Seagull auto movement in it with a functional power reserve, and it is fabulous. So don't knock it unless you've worn it. It is good. And I've had some Swiss watch failings going on lately. Keep watching. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I bought this, and this one's going to be hard to find, but I bought it at Long Island Watch. I like that place. They have some really cool pilot watches. I think their prices are fair. They have great service. I like Mark and his reviews here on YouTube. He shares a lot of the same likes and dislikes I do aesthetically with watches. So I researched that, found it. And now it's going up against a Shinola. Which one do you guys prefer right now? Say it in comment. Which one? I already know which one you're going to say. It's not even clear. Shinola. TMPers are going to like the Shinola. And actually, I end the video, you may be shocked which one I'm going with. Huh. You might be shocked. Sizing on this one's going to be a little bit smaller. It's 44 millimeters. Remember, this is 47 by 12 millimeters thick. The Seagull M22S by 51 millimeters lug to lug. Which sizing do I prefer between the two? You know I like a big watch. I have 7.5-inch wrists. Let's see what they look like on my wrist. I always thought I had skinny wrists, but as it turns out, they're not that skinny. Yeah, that looks pretty good. 44 millimeters, and it's got a really thin bezel, so it looks bigger than it does. Remember that, guys. If it has a thin bezel like this one does, like a lot of classic watches do, it will wear bigger than it is. It looks like it's a 47. It's not. It's only 44. Now, if you put this one on, it looks like I'm wearing a freaking pocket watch, probably, right? Again, this is available in 41. I actually like the looks of that. For me and my wrist, I don't mind it. I like it, like a big watch. Very cool. Sizing wise, which one I prefer? Very, very close, but by slight margin, I would say the Shinola. Let's look at the casework on this. This again reminds me of a pocket watch aesthetic, which is to say that's a good thing. High polished stainless steel all the way through the Shinola. Really high quality workmanship throughout. Double domed sapphire crystal on the Shinola. That is a plus. So it's domed on the inside, domed on the outside. Very classic appearance. Also a thin bezel. High polished casework. It reminds me of the Orient brand, that's a compliment, by the way, because Orient does such great casework. A lot of watch brands do. I'm not just saying Orient. And notice the classic lug design. So this is what I was talking about when they used to braze on lugs to pilot watches. It was like this. This looks exactly like what I was talking about. Pocket watch, braze on the legs, put a leather strap on it. I think that's what they're going after. I don't really think of this as a pilot watch, but maybe that's the aesthetic they're going for. There's a reason I say it's not a pilot watch. I'll get to that here in a second. And then we have a 4-screw screw-on case back, and I haven't messed with this. This is a quartz model, and it's running a 1069 in-house, I think sourced from Switzerland, Argonite quartz movement is what Shinola says. That's a quartz movement. Is one better than another? Not really. I find all the quartz movements, the Japanese ones, the Swiss ones, to be fine. But again, I've had a Swiss one fail on me lately, and that wasn't so fine. I'm thinking these screws right here are what you take off to replace the battery, but honestly, I haven't tried it. And these aren't them. So I hope it's not a pain. That could be a big downside, because I like a screw-in case back for a quartz watch. They just work so well. Here's a Citizen that shows it. So look at this Citizen. That's sick. So screw-in case back. There's a tag number on that one. Coming up for review, maybe. Those are simpler. I mean, this has a really cool look to it. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but I just hope it's not complex. I like how it's serial numbered. I like how it's laser engraved. All that's good. Super fine lettering. I mean, the attention to detail on the Shinola is top notch. Onion crown, as per a vintage watch. Kind of signed with, I think they have kind of a lightning bolt thing going on there for Shinola. Made in Detroit. And yes, you can swap this band off. There's spring bars under there. So for whatever crazy reason, if you don't like this leather strap, you can take it off and swap it out. I actually love it. I think it's very cool. I do tend to like the darker brown leather straps rather than the lighter tanned ones, but I can roll with this one. Contrasted white stitching. High polished single clasp buckle. That's a really nice strap. 24 millimeters, as you can tell. And let's look at the face while we're here. Now, this is what I was saying about how I don't think it's intended as a pilot watch, and this is a criticism on the entire Runwell series for me. Just for me. I don't super dig the hands. Yes, I know they're vintage. Yes, I know they're a throwback, but I would prefer broader hands. I already told you how much I love these. So do I need these on that? well, to be honest, I like it. I'm not going to lie. I love sword hands, or elongated kite hands, if you want to call it that. I love them. These are okay. They're just a little bit slender, and then they outlined them in black, which for this coloration makes sense because it's against a white face, but they're just a little bit slender for me. That's all I'm saying. The rest is really good. You have a 6 o'clock position, seconds hand subdial, clean Arabic markings, sans serif typeface. I really like that. The branding on the face is superb. You can see it's a 1069 quartz movement. I like the contrasting orange there. The Shinola brand there is perfect. Now, if you were to ask me, hey, would you rather have a full sweep seconds hand or a sub seconds hand? I prefer a full sweep. That's just me. That's what I like. But a really nicely executed face. Very clean, classic. And now we go to the Seagull M22. Here comes the criticism. Brace yourself. Brace yourself, Long Island watch. Okay, on their photos of this watch, they totally got the hands wrong. By that I mean they probably took it of an earlier version that had much better hands than this one. Look at the video I took of it. So those on the video that I'm showing you now, those are really excellent hands on the M22, and I don't know if it's a previous version, but here we go again. Oftentimes you have to order a watch, see it in person, and find out, wow, it doesn't look anything like the photos online show. I can't tell you how many times I'm going through that. And so yeah, a lot of watches go back because hand execution to me is paramount. For an analog watch, it's all about the hands. Not all about, but a lot. More and more. I don't like goofy hands. I like skeletonized hands more and more. These are not horrible. They're not. I mean, they're very clean. The problem is they've outlined them. They're in a high polish, I think like a black or navy blue. And then they have illumination, of course, on the hands themselves. But it makes the hands look very small. See that? I'm trying to minimize the reflection here. So the hands really aren't that small, but because they've, for whatever reason, insisted on outlining them in black against a black face, they look tiny. It ruins the watch for me. Oh, I just cut to the plot of which one I like best. It does. If I had the other hands, this would be a much closer race. A much closer race. But this is a showstopper. This is like game over, man. These hands right here for me. Now, maybe you guys don't think that. Maybe you love those hands. You want a more elegant blued hands appearance. You just want enough coloration in them for contrast. Maybe you love them. Say so in comment if you do. And then we have a 9 o'clock seconds subdial. So again, we don't have a sweeping seconds hand on that. Arabic numerals, very similar to the typeface used in the Shinola. Very clean markings, white markings. We have a Seagull logo here. 17, not 24 jewels. This is a 24 jewel movement, if you care. Oh, and I forgot to tell you this. This is not an automatic winding movement, and that's probably why it's 17. Duh. This is a hand-wound movement, and by the way, I'm totally cool with that. I have some hand-wound movements I haven't got to review yet, but I love them. I have no problems with that, and I think... No, I was wondering... I was thinking something else. I love it when a hand-wound watch has a power reserve indicator. I like the orange numerals here. That's very cool. It's a plus. And then that ties into the orange contrasted stitching with a textured leather band. This is not a 24 millimeter. I didn't measure it, but it looks like to be an 18 or a 20. So it's much thinner than the Shinola. But it's a very high quality strap. One of the best I've seen on a Chinese watch for a long time. Frosted logo clasp. That's cool. I don't think they actually signed this one, did they? On the Shinola? They should have. They didn't. So the Seagull did. Here's the information on this one, if you care. Model number. Rottweiler. Look at the back. Exhibition case back. It has the Shinola bead on that. Yeah, I kind of like it. I really would like an exhibition case back. It'd be cool. This is not a sapphire. Oh, I lied. It is a sapphire on this one. I was thinking of another watch. So that's good value. I don't know if the back is sapphire, and I don't think it really matters. Seagull calls this an ST3600 hand wound movement, if you care. And I'm not taking that sticker off because, you guessed it, it's going back. Can't deal with the hands. Can't deal with it. Yeah, love the orange. They're saying this is called a 9-eater, Long Island is. That's kind of a cool name. For a 9 o'clock position subdial. Yeah, so durability-wise, which one do you think would last the longest? It's a toss-up. I think they're both super high-quality watches. Neither one is actually very inexpensive. This one, again, is running about $550. That's a lot of money for a watch. I polled TMPers, and I think most of you guys thought anything above $200 was a no-go for you, which I get, but in the watch world, let's kind of ground the conversation. That's considered actually good value. So if you can get double dome sapphire crystal, this is a quartz movement though, so I think you could ding it for being overpriced for a quartz movement, and I'm actually going to do that before the video ends for sure. But you know, $500 in the watch world, they're saying it's cheap. I mean, I've seen a bunch of WRVs from shows like Urban Gentry, and they're like, oh yeah, $500, that's affordable. So just remember, in the watch world, horologists consider that to be cheap. A lot of them do. This one is not inexpensive either. It's $300. That's a lot for me for a Chinese watch, a full-on Chinese watch that is branded as such. It's a little expensive. Which one do I prefer? Shinola. Even though it's more expensive, the Shinola. The hands are a little bit slender, yes, but they are consistent with the design. I don't think these hands right here are consistent with this watch face. I don't. I think they seem a little bit out of place. They should have thicker hands like I showed you in that video. I like the casework on the Shinola a little bit better, and I forgot to show you this one on the Seagull. Pretty standard, so just kind of cylindrical. Satin brushed on the side, polished on the bottom and top. I love the exhibition case back. I love the casework on it. The strap on the Shinola is a little bit better than the Seagull, although I like the Seagulls. I don't care that it's more narrow. Again, if the hands on this one were as depicted, I would honestly have a very hard decision deciding between the watches. Is white my favorite coloration? It's up there. Definitely up there. I wish Shinola would actually break away from these hands. I mean, it seems like every watch they do has these hands. I mean, give your customers a chance to swap it out. Give a sword hand option on your website. Say, hey, you want to run well with sword hands? Here, click. Yes, they do have a custom watch build feature on their website, but dang, it's expensive. I was pricing that out. I mean, you can get up to like an $800 watch before you know it, and that's not me. I'm not doing that. Yeah, the Shinola is an excellent watch. Highly recommended. There's other models there that you can check out. I mentioned a couple of them. Surf around. The only thing I'd say about the Shinola is I think for a quartz watch, they are highly overpriced. But what do I always say in my tabletop reviews? You want made in America? Made in America, you're gonna pay for it. In my knife reviews, I say that. It's like, hey, hey, I don't like Chinese knives. Roger that. Pony up for a $550 watch or 100% American-made, knife that's, feeding and supplying an American workforce. It is what it is. This one is $250 cheaper. $250. And this is an awesome watch. The hand wind is super cool. It looks great. I've discussed the hands already. But Shinola wins, even though it's more expensive. And if this gets more views, or well, like we said, about 50K, I'm going to get some more Shinola watches, and we'll talk about those too. Thanks for watching. Nothing fancy. Back it up. I'm so glad I remembered. Here we go. Charging up. Oh, don't expect these to be super illuminated. They're not. These are more classic, nostalgic timepieces, so you're not going to see a ton of illumination on them. If you want a ton of lume, I don't know, go with this one. Yeah, or a lot of the others in my playlist. There you go. Very similar, actually. There's a Shinola lume. Notice missing is a lume pip on the second hand. Here's the Seagull Lume. It is dimmer. Super luminova on this freaking Shinola, and you can tell, look at that. It's like, just from charging up from the light, it's on the left, it's dying already. Now, in the camera, it looks super dim. To my naked eye, I can totally read the Seagull. But notice none of the markings are illuminated at all. So, illumination, guess what? Shinola wins that race too. Now the review's done. See you guys. Bye-bye.